Whether you're a beginner or not, it's always good to have some tricks that help you sew better and be more productive in here. So I've thought of 10 to share with you. And the first two have to do with the measuring tape. When you're going to draft a pattern, it's really easy once you have your measurement to just fold your measuring tape by half, and that way you have your measurement. And the other trick with the measuring tape, it's really useful, and it is that when you're measuring yourself for a skirt and you want to have a glance at the measurement, it's really difficult because the measure tape, it always moves. So what I do is put it upside down, so the bottom bit is already measured and you get your measurement on your waist. So that's really useful, eh? I'm discovering America here. And let's talk from the cutting table, because the next two tricks are with pins. Of course, pins are basic in a sewing room, but they can also be useful for other things. If we use scissors or a seam ripper to open a buttonhole, it's really difficult sometimes to stop. And it's quite scary because you can end up with a huge rip. So if you place a pin where you're heading, it's really easy not to do that. And the other one has to do with darts. When we do darts, it's really difficult to eyeball where the two lines meet. So if you use a pin from one end to the other, you can easily meet them so they turn out perfect. When making a skirt, it's really easy if you have a mannequin, because it has an accessory that goes round at the bottom and you can measure really accurately your skirt length. But you can also fold it and draft along the circle. And let me know down in the comments if you want to know what this disaster is, or was supposed to be. It is obviously a skirt because I just used it on my skirt example. I'm so silly. But you know me, you get me. And let me know down in the comments, because I'm thinking about making a fails video. So let me know if you're interested in that. Patterns are really important in a sewing room. It doesn't matter if you make them yourself or you buy them. They are really nice and you want to keep them in good shape. So it's really difficult because paper always tends to break. So I bought this clear adhesive vinyl and I'm going to cover them. It says repositionable adhesive. I've never heard of that term.
Easy peel thanks to the cuts on the backing paper.
Let's see. So it's a 20-meter roll and I'm going to cover all of these I have. I mainly have blocks, so that's why I want to keep them as neat as possible, because from this you make different patterns. I think it's a really good idea. I think they look really neat and it's impossible to break them, almost, unless you use a pair of scissors. I know some people won't like it because it takes a bit more space, but you can fold it or you can roll it even on your shelf and keep it as a little roll. So I don't think it's that bad. I think it's really good because you can keep them and it's the blocks, so it's really important to keep them in good condition. You don't want to take all those measurements again, do you? And now we're going to the sewing machine. When we start and finish a seam, we're going to press reverse so our seam is secure and doesn't open, but never with thinner fabrics like chiffon. When working on a corner, you need to lift your foot and lift the needle in. So that way you can maneuver the fabric and then keep the seam in place. And always leave your needle in anyway, if you're taking a break or going to the loo or anything, just to be safe. If you need to sew a curve or a semicircle, you have to leave the semicircle one underneath and the straight fabric on top, so you can maneuver the fabric while sewing, so you get a nice curved seam with no wrinkles or missed stitches. When you're gathering fabric, if you do it by hand, it's really easy because you just pull the thread and it will gather nicely. But when you do it with machine, it has, well, there are even foots to do it with the machine, but if you then do it by hand, you just run a straight stitch, but you have to realize you have 2 threads, so you have only need to pull from one of them. It won't gather if you pull from the 2 of them. So these are my little tricks for today. I hope you've enjoyed them. Please let me know down in the comments any tricks you have I haven't realized, or things you do I don't. Anything you want to comment, please do. And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss anything next week. Bye! Bien.